Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aspasia and this is my channel Asparagusisreading. And today we're going to be doing yet another book tag, and this time it's going to be the Finally Fall book tag. I decided to do this today because I have the free time. Well, here I am, having a great time, feeling motivated and inspired, so here we are. Also, my new shirt that I got for like $2, I believe, or maybe it was $1, I don't remember, kind of matches the fall vibe. I do believe this consists of 11 questions, and I think one of them is ask me to tag people at the end, and two of them is to ask me to show you a couple things. So I guess we'll see those very soon, but majority of them are like book recommendations to people somehow related to fall, so maybe you'll find a book on this list that you'll be interested in. The first question is, in fall the air is crisp and clear, name a book that has a very vivid setting. And if I remember correctly, vivid means like a really good details. You can get like a very clear view or understanding of what someone is saying. And for me, I think the most recent vivid setting of a book would be All the Stars and Teeth by Adeline Grace. I've already raved about this a lot, and I've seen quite a few other people rave about it. However, there are some mixed reviews, so don't, this is about a princess, a pirate, a stowaway, a mermaid, and all of them as a crew that helps make a queen. That's basically what it says on the back. But this is more specifically about Amora, who is next in line for the throne. And she's supposed to go through this ceremony to really prove herself, basically by showing that she knows how to do this power and to handle this power, and that she can, properly ruled over the throne. But unfortunately for her, something goes wrong during that ceremony, and people look at her weird, and she's immediately cast out of the entire kingdom. So they're like, girl, get out. So now she's running and she's trying to figure out, like, why didn't it work? Why did I fail? How did I fail? What? I don't understand. And she's up running to a guy, ends up joining his mini crew. And there's a stowaway, which is there's a stowaway. I think that's a spoiler, so let me not say that. There's a stowaway who pops on board. I do run into quite a bit along the journey while they are trying to save the kingdom and also get her back in the position to be on the throne. Along the way, there are some steamy sex scenes. There's some flirting. There is some shape-shifting, I believe. There's some magical systems. There's mermaids. There's magic. There's death. Some of it does get a little gory. I feel like I was good. I was able to handle. I was a little taken back, like, oh, interesting. But I wasn't disgusted. So depending on your tolerance level with that, I would be mindful of that. Yeah, I read this within a couple of days. I absolutely loved it, and I'm really excited to read book 2. Question number 2 is, nature is beautiful and it is also dying. Name a book that is beautifully written but also deals with the important or darker topics such as loss, grief, etc. So I believe I chose 3 books for this. 2 of them are e-books I don't have copies of, so I'll put a photo here. And the first book is Verona Comics. I was very surprised by the content of it. I was expecting it to be a very cute contemporary romance type book. However, there was discussion of depression and mental health and abuse and a couple other things. I was very, very surprised when the book took that route. Thinking back on it now, I kind of wish it was a bit more of a gradual thing. At least maybe for me, I'm not familiar with that, so I didn't see it or see the signs of it until it was like, boom, this is what's happening. So I do kind of wish that it was more gradual. However, I did still really enjoy it. It had me in tears by the end of the book because I didn't realize how attached I had become to these characters and how much I really wanted things to work. Another book that I had a very similar experience, I think maybe a couple months before, if not a couple months after, I can't remember which one I read first, was Late to the Party. Now this is a LGBT plus contemporary romance book. Again, thought it would be a cute contemporary romance. However, again, there were some interesting topics in there. I don't quite recall if it was as strong, I guess you could say, as Verona Comics. If I remember correctly, this is about Cody, who meets these new friends and she starts to hang out with them a lot more than her from childhood friends, because she's kind of just realized she feels really stuck and doesn't really feel like herself. And with these new friends, she's able to really discover more about herself, who she is, what she really wants in life, and things like that. And for me, I think I really resonated with Cody just because I feel like that's me. I feel like I'm still in a place where I'm like, okay, I know I want to do these, but like, who am I? Where am I going? How do I want to get there? I'm still trying to figure a lot of that out. And so like, I feel like reading in Cody's point of view really gave me a little bit of opportunity to do that. So I don't know. I think it's just a very interesting topic to talk about. I feel like a lot of people, especially in the teens and adult range, maybe even a little bit older, feel that way, where they feel a little lost, don't really know what they want to do. So I really enjoyed that one. And the third book I want to talk about is With the Fire and High. So that is another contemporary novel. There is romance in it, however, it's not the main plot in there. I don't think, like, if you took the romance out, I don't think it would drastically ruin the effect of the book. So With the Fire and High is about a girl who she's a single mom. She's in high school and she's working a part-time job, and she is really trying to balance school and her child and work, as well as trying to go after her dreams. She really wants to go after culinary because that's something that her and her grandmother really do a lot together. A class does become available at the school, and she's luckily able to get into it. However, there is a couple of bumps on the road in the process of joining the class and being in the class, and again, her trying to figure out how to balance life, baby, job, school, culinary school, things like that. And I thought that was really important because I feel like in many books, teen pregnancy is not always discussed, or at least not discussed in the way that Elizabeth Acevedo put it, or how teens that age tend to be balancing a lot. And even though it may not actually seem like a lot at our age, you know, my age, at that time, it just feels like our world is crushing because we're putting so much into all of these things. So I just really enjoyed seeing more of my perspective of always doing something and really trying to balance that life in a book. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, for that one, I think the darker topics would be the relationship she has with her mother, her father, and the baby daddy, and just her own emotions and things going through. It's not as deep, it's not as dark. I do believe the last two books aren't as dark as Verona Comics, but I did want to mention. Question number 3 is fall is back to school season. Name a non-fiction book that has definitely taught you something. I think I'm going to go with A Long Walk to Water. So this one is something I read back in middle school, I believe. This is about two characters, Salva and Naya. So this is two different timelines, same area, well, same country to be more specific. So Salva is a boy whose country kind of gets taken over by rebels, and to really escape, he has to walk on a very long journey to get somewhere else. And so you're basically just following him as he literally walks from one place to another for days and months. I believe even years at a time. And then we'll also following Naya. I can't remember how many years. I'll say about 20-ish years, maybe even almost 30 years later. Naya is also walking, however not necessarily the same thing. Naya has to walk to a pond every single day, there and back, sometimes even twice a day, to get water for her family. But unfortunately, there's not a lot of water in general, and so when they boil it down, that often gives them pretty much next to nothing, if nothing at all. And at some point, someone is coming to her village and kind of starts talking about drilling a hole in the ground, and she's kind of like, we haven't had water here, what are you talking about? And so you're following her story as she does these trips every single day, and also trying to figure out what's going on with this man and what he thinks he's doing. Question number 4 is, in order to keep warm, it's good to spend some time with the people that you love. And this is basically name a fictional character, group of friends, family, squad, etc. that you would like to kind of be in the middle of or be a part of. And typically I probably answer this with the Shadowhunter group, but I think today I'm going to use a completely different group, actually 2 different ones. Well, actually, now that I'm going to do 3. I would like to be around the crew for all the stars and teaks. I think it'd be very interesting to see them interact since they're all very different personalities. And they do tend to have like little arguments or very little sarcastic moments together, and I think that'd be lots of fun. Also, I can be a very sarcastic person in like everyday conversations, so I think it'd be fun to just kind of just go back and forth. Also, I think I would like to be friends with Ruby, Nova, Adrian, etc. in the Renegades trilogy, because their friendship is like the cutest thing ever. I don't even know how to explain it. I love their friendship. It's great. I will let them do all the crime fighting and the work and whatnot. I just want to be back at home base and I just want to chat. I just want to hang out. Y'all can do the other stuff, but I'm good. And I believe one more group I also wanted to mention was also from Late to the Party, Cody and that group of friends she meets, just because I'm curious to see if I were to spend my time with them, would I change a bit? Like, would I change permanently? Like I feel like for Cody, she definitely learned a couple things about herself, so I'm curious to see if I were to change, spend time with them, would I learn things about myself, or would I change in a way? Question number 5 are the colorful leaves are starting to pile up. Show a stack of fall spines. And for me, fall colors, which I think for everyone is really browns, tans, oranges. And so I'm going to show you this lovely stack of orangey books since it, goes with my shirt. If I can get it up here. So these are all different orangey colors. Obviously they're not the perfect fall colors, but I did really like how a lot of them had like ombres and gradients to really show leaves, because a lot of fall leaves don't tend to be one single color. They tend to have multiple colors or spots. So here's my stack. Question number 6 is fall is the perfect time for telling stories by the fireside, and this is recommend or share a book where someone is telling some kind of story. For this one, I'm gonna go a little further away from the question. Not really sure if this one counts. I'm gonna go with A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series by Holly Jackson. Obviously, if we're doing thrillers and murders, there's gonna be some kind of storytelling throughout the story where a character reveals something about themselves, or where a character reveals something about someone else, or some kind of stuff, basically to further the plot along and help solve the mystery. And I also just really love this voice. I just really love this book, and so I really think that y'all should read this. So I thought, what a perfect opportunity to recommend a mystery murder thriller spooky book for, spooky times. Alright, question number 7 is the nights are starting to get darker. Name a dark, creepy, scary read. And I'm gonna go with My Lovely Wife because that one got me. I tend to kind of get an idea of what's going on or have a guess of who might be up to what. I'm not always correct when it comes to mysteries and thrillers, but I do tend to guess. My Lovely Wife had me guessing the entire book. I would guess and it would be revealed and I was wrong, and I would guess something and I was wrong, and then I would guess something and I was wrong, and then the ending happened and I was extremely wrong, and then it did this whole reverse flip-flop thing and I was like, oh, because you hit that point where like, oh, okay, book is done, and then boom, and I was like, oh snap, okay, hold on, My Lovely Wife was doing it. So basically My Lovely Wife is about a married couple who murder together. I don't want to tell you too much more about that because it could be potential spoilers. Basically, they are a married couple who murder together, and one day a body turns up that the police find, and they're starting an investigation, and they're starting to pick up some clues and some information going on, and the murderous married couple starts to get a little concerned because it's getting a little too close to home, or like what they do, and they're like, what the heck is going on here? And so basically they're trying to figure out like who's the killer, who knows this information about them, why is this so close to home, is their stuff gonna get found out, things like that. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not what you think it is. I know a lot of people say that when it comes to murder mystery thrillers, and when you end up solving it by page 100, but let me tell you right now, My Lovely Wife was not what I thought it would be. I was shook. I don't think I've ever been that shook by a murder mystery thriller, and this was a good one, but I think this was maybe like close second to My Lovely Wife. So if the My Lovely Wife author plans on writing any more thrillers like that, your girl is on it, because that was gold. Question number 8 is the days are getting colder. Name a book that is short and can also be really good to like warm yourself up, or like really good quick book to read. And I'm going to recommend one that I have recommended many times, and that is Natalie Tan's Book of Luck and Fortune, just because it is so much short. It's about 300 pages, almost exactly 300 pages. Oh my gosh. It's literally 300 pages exactly. And I know people might think of short, they might think of like 250 pages and less. This book is really not that hard to read. I flew through it. It's very easy, very quick. It's a contemporary book about a girl who has to go back to her hometown after her mother passes away. And she discovers that the town is basically dead. Everyone's kind of just, not really motivated. There's not really any tourists coming in because whenever she was a child, there's a lot of stores in the area. A lot of her friends and her neighbors in the neighboring shops had a lot of business. And they were happy and the marriages were going successfully, and now it's kind of just dead. And so basically she's just trying to really help bring that life back into the town and really figure out what's going on with her mother and how her mother passed and just her own things. This was great. This was great. Be prepared for some grief and for some loss because it does discuss those topics. Question number 9 is fall returns every year. Name a book that you really, really loved and would love to return soon. And I have 2 answers for this, and the first one is the Maximum Ride series by James Patterson. I have been absolutely obsessed with the Maximum Ride series ever since I read it for the first time back in middle school. I don't really know what it was about this series that really intrigued me, but it got me, and I have been forever a fan, even though he's not the best person. And the last few books have kind of haven't been great, but I still love the series. I'm actually really excited to read the next book, which came out recently, called Hawk. However, I'm scared because the way that it sounds doesn't really sound like my beloved characters. It sounds like a whole new set of characters, just the same name. So I guess we'll find out. The next book is the Warrior series. This is not book 1, but it's one of the ones that I have. This is also another one that I really want to read. I have always wanted to finish this and like really get to know all the cats. It is now, how many years later? I'm in college. They have hundreds of books out now, just for this alone. And then I'm pretty sure there's dozens for the dogs, which I think is like Seekers, Hunters. There's a Braveland, and I believe there's one more, and I'm just like, whoa, girl's behind. Hopefully one day I can catch up, but until then, I'll keep hoping. We're gonna keep hoping. Number 9 is fall is the best time for some really cozy reading nights. Share some of your favorite reading accessories. Now, I don't really have a reading spot or like one designated thing that I go to. Other tends to be my bed, my desk, or really anywhere that I can sit down and read, because a lot of times I'm on my reading an ebook or an audiobook. If anything, for accessories, I'll probably have a blanket, which I probably put like a clip in here, like over my voice, or do a voice over, you know what I'm talking about. My desk, my bed, maybe some sweatpants, some fuzzy socks, a cup of tea or a glass of water, maybe a snack or 2, put on some music or a YouTube video playing in the background, and whatnot. And question number 11 is spread the autumn appreciation and tag some people. So I don't really know who's done this tag or not. If I remember correctly, this tag is a bit old, so I'm quite sure a lot of people have already done this, if not more than once. So I'm just going to tag a few people, or at least newer YouTubers that I'm pretty sure haven't done it, but if they have, I'm sorry. And if you haven't, and I didn't tell you, feel free to go right ahead and do it. By all means, I would love you to see you do it. And so I'm going to be tagging Nitty Ready Reads, Avery Loves Books, Rachel Reads, Reading BRB, and Tammy Loves to Read. I will put links to the channels all down below, and hopefully figure out how to do the tagging thing in the description so they can see that. And if not, I'll just tweet them and be like, hey, might have tagged your little thing. And so yeah, so that's going to be the end of this video of this Finally Fall book tag. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm really trying to do fun videos and tags and stuff and get back into it. I thought this would be fun just because, it's fall. Let's do some fall stuff. It is a little hard in quarantine to continue wanting to celebrate holidays, but we're getting there. We actually decorated we decorated part of the house with Halloween decorations today, and then we're going to finish up tomorrow. I'm hoping to do something with my shelves, so if that happens, I might do a Halloween themed tag, as well as reorganizing my shelves for Halloween. So if you're excited to see that, like and comment down below and you can see it. So with that being said, that's gonna be the end of this video. Yeah, thanks you guys so much for watching and sticking around while I've been in this weird slump, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.